Hello students, today we are going to start our new chapter which is chapter number 13, class 7th, Earth's movement and measure landform. So this is the chapter and we have to learn about Earth's movements. Basically by this chapter we can learn how the Iceland, lakes, ocean, desert, waterfall, river, mountains, volcanoes, glaciers, they were formed, and how the tectonic plates were moved, how they all define all these things by the movement of tectonic plates. Okay, so first of all, as you can see, Earth's movements are of two types. First is the internal or endogenic forces. What is first? Internal or endogenic forces. And the second one, external or exogenic forces. So first of all, uh, we have to learn what are the exogenic forces. Okay. Basically, exogenic forces. Yes, this one. Exogenic forces. Exogenic forces are those forces which were driven by the rainfall or heavy wind fall. Whenever it is heavy rain or heavy windfall, then uh, then the earth is moved as like landsliding and all those things. By those features, the earth form their structure differently, and that's we call external or exogenic forces originate outside the earth crust. As we can see, this all thing, the heavy rainfall and the heavy water wind were formed outside the earth crust. So that's the external or exogenic forces. Now we have to move on the internal or endogenic forces. The internal and endogenic forces, what are those forces? They are formed inside the earth crust, originate within the earth crust and comprise sudden movement. Okay, that's the major force. That's why all the things, uh, all the things like earthquake, earthquake and all that things uh, begins. Earthquake, volcanic eruptions, and formation of landform. They all the reason behind this all the reason is moment of earth crust, or यूं कहे कि it is the reason for endogenic forces. Okay, now formation of we were divided the internal or endogenic forces in three different types: formation of landforms, earthquakes, volcanoes. Okay, formation of landform, folding or faulting. मतलब formation of landform is basically nothing but the mountains creation. Okay, the mountains creation and the landsliding and all that things were example of formation of landform. Basically, this is the chapter where we learn how the land is formed, and how the volcanic eruption begins, how the earthquakes begins, how the uh, tectonic plates will move constantly. Okay, so let's start. Okay, just see this example. You will learn so many things about it. So basically, we will move on. Movement of the Earth. What is the movement of Earth? Initially, scientists were of the opinion that the position of the continents and the ocean were fixed. Basically, in first half, we can see that the scientists were depends on all the data that we have only on that time period. So they think on that time of scientists that the Earth's position is fixed. The continents are fixed. They have nothing but no movement issues. Okay, the Earth's position is fixed. The continents are fixed in the ocean. Ocean also fixed by their theory. Basically, in first half. Okay, after first half, however, within an increase in human knowledge, it was discovered that the continents were in a state of constant motion. So, after first half, it's defined and it's true only that all the continents were moving in constant motion. Were moving in constant motion. It was discovered that the continents were in a state of constant motion. It was also discovered that the continents were in a state of constant motion. They were in a state of constant motion without any further requirement. They are basically in constant motion, है ना? And the movement was due to change taking place inside our dynamic earth. Okay, what is the meaning of dynamic here? The dynamic word belongs to the um, continuously changing, growing earth. Continuously changing, developing, growing earth. Okay, so dynamic meaning is this, and the movement was due to change taking place inside our earth crust. Okay, dynamic earth crust. So now we will move on. And next, around 1915, underline this, Professor Alfred Wegener, a German meteorologist, is he's in his book The Origin of Continents and Oceans suggests the theory of continental drift. Okay, so you have to write down this thing in your book, that the theory of continental drift. Okay, continental drift. And according to him, all the continents were once joined together as one supercontinent known as Pangea. Okay, according to the scientist Alfred Wagner, all the continents were Alfred Wagner's, the German scientist, the German meteorologist. Meteorologist. What is the meaning of meteorologist? A specialist who studies process in the Earth's atmosphere that cause particular weather condition. Okay, so they were defined that in starting all the continents were together fixed, and they were called Pangea, which begins to break about 200 million years ago. Which begins to break about 200 million year ago, resulting in the drifting apart of the continents from each other. Meaning, after 200 million, we were calling 250 or 200 million year ago thing, by drifting apart. मतलब ये अलग अलग तरह से दूर हो रहे हैं, अपने आप से दूर होते जा रहे हैं, by drifting apart the continents from each other, as we can see them now. His theory was reaffirmed by the discovery of new evidence in the form of seafloor spreading. ठीक है? It is now clearly known as the seafloor spreading is the process by which a new seafloor is formed. उन्होंने ये थ्योरी किस तरह से दी? क्योंकि जब उन्होंने ये थ्योरी देना शुरू किया तब क्या हुआ, जो बेसिकली सी था, न्यू सी का फॉर्मेशन हो रहा था, नया पानी जो है वो अपनी जगह बढ़ा रहा था, अलग अलग जगह पे जा रहा था। तो उन्होंने इस बात से इस थ्योरी का इस थ्योरी की मदद से उन्होंने ये डिफाइन किया दैट क्यों सी क्यों स्प्रेड हो रहा है, क्योंकि कॉन्टिनेंट्स हमेशा कांस्टेंट मूवमेंट में रहते हैं। ये हमें दिखते क्यों नहीं है, क्योंकि ये बहुत कम होता है, लेकिन ये कॉन्स्टेंटली होता है ना। It is now clearly known that seafloor spreading is the process by which a new seafloor is formed. Okay, so seafloor is the process by new seafloor is formed. ठीक है? Now the the scientific theory that describes the large-scale motion of the lithosphere is known as theory of plate tectonics. So, the scientific proof, scientific theory. What is this theory? This is based on the movement of tectonic plates. ठीक है? अब what are the tectonic plates? And first of all, you all have to know how the in next class I will show you that how the Pangea begins and crack, है ना? Okay, so now basically we will move on the tectonic plates or theory of plate tectonics. ठीक है? According to this theory, the lithosphere is divided into several large and small irregular shaped plates. Okay, as we can see now, our continents were divided in different small. Someone is large, but in irregular shape plates. Okay, so they were called tectonic plates, called lithospheric or tectonic plates. क्या? Called lithospheric and tectonic plate. There are two types of lithospheric plate, है ना? First of all, oceanic plates and continental plates. So the tectonic plates were divided in so different parts. अब बेटा ये क्या बात है कि हमारा जो सी है उसके नीचे भी एक टेक्टोनिक प्लेट का आपने देखा होगा अर्थ क्रस्ट होगी, है ना? वहां पे भी प्लेट्स होंगी, है ना? अब देखो यहाँ पे क्या आ रहा है, ओशनिक प्लेट्स के बारे में हम बात कर रहे हैं। ओशनिक प्लेट्स फॉर्म द फ्लोर ऑफ द सी, वेयर इट फॉर्म्स द फ्लोर ऑफ द सी, meaning as you can see in this diagram. Okay, as you can see in this diagram, there is the sea floor, and beneath this there, but upper the mental area, there were we form a earth crust. So this were called the ocean plates. Beneath the water level, beneath the water level of earth, there were earth crust formed. ठीक है? Oceanic plates form the floor of the ocean, है ना? While contains, basically I will show you like this. Wait a minute. So as you can see here in this diagram, that how the Pangea were we said, the Pangea, the supercontinent, the supercontinent were begins like this, है ना? दिस इज द साइंटिस्ट बिहाइंड दिस, और यूं कहें जो मेट्रोलॉजिस्ट थे, एल्फ्रेड वैगनर, द जर्मन मेट्रोलॉजिस्ट। ओके, तो ये इस तरह से एक पिंगिया एक सुपर कॉन्टिनेंट था। ठीक है, सुपर कॉन्टिनेंट बना हुआ था, एंड और इस तरह से जैसा कि आप अभी वीडियो में देख पा रहे हैं, इस तरह से ये ड्रिफ्ट अपार्ट हुआ, एक दूसरे से अलग अलग हुए ये, और अलग अलग कॉन्टिनेंट्स बनते गए। ठीक है, तो ये जो कॉन्टिनेंट का बनना है, इसको ही हम प्लेट थ्योरी ऑफ टेक्टोनिक प्लेट्स कहते हैं, है ना? थ्योरी ऑफ टेक्टोनिक प्लेट्स कहलाती है। इसके अंदर क्या अलग अलग शेप के अलग अलग तरह के प्लेट्स बनते गए, अलग अलग जगह पे ये सब चीजें बनती गई। ठीक है, बेसिकली ये एक पूरा का पूरा पार्ट था, फिर डिफरेंट पार्ट्स में ये अलग अलग होता गया। ठीक है, अब हम देखते हैं यहाँ पे टेक्टोनिक प्लेट्स के बारे में। जैसे कि यहाँ पे आप देखो, टेक्टोनिक प्लेट्स एंड मेंटल मेल्टिंग जनरेटिंग मैग्मा बाय एडिंग वाटर। ओके, बेसिकली ये ओशन है ना? ओशन है, ओशन के नीचे भी आप देखोगे ना, जाओगे अगर आप कभी, अगर आपको स्विम करना पसंद हो तो एक क्रस्ट जरूर आती है, ठीक है। क्रस्ट के नीचे हमारे पास लिथोस्फेरिक मेंटल आता है, ठीक है। ये मेंटल के ऊपर ही ये क्रस्ट कंटिन्यूअसली कांस्टेंट फॉर्म में मूव करती रहती है, मोशन करती रहती है, ठीक है। तो क्या होता है ना, जब भी whenever it forms, ये देखो, addition of water, lower melting temperature magma forms. Here addition of water के addition से क्या, lower melting temperature होता है और magma forms होते हैं, ठीक है। तो बेसिकली आपको ये याद रखना है, ओशन के नीचे भी ये क्रस्ट है, ठीक है। और ये वाली जो चीज है ना, ये हमारा यूं समझ सकते हैं कि अर्थ क्रस्ट कह सकते हैं, कि जो लिथोस्फेरिक प्लेट्स हैं वो ये हैं, और जो ओशियनिक प्लेट्स हैं वो ये हैं। तो जब ये आपस में मूव करती रहती है कंटिन्यूअसली, मगर जब ये मूव करते करते इनका प्रेशर बढ़ जाता है, ये अपने पास आती हैं, तो हमें बहुत सारी चीजें फॉर्म होती हैं, फील होती हैं, यूं कह सकते हैं। सो एज यू कैन सी दे आर कंटिन्यूअसली मूविंग, ठीक है। अब देखो यहाँ पे ओशियनिक प्लेट्स है ना, और ये कॉन्टिनेंटल प्लेट्स है ना, ये लिथोस्फीयर है, ठीक है। ये मॉल्टन मॉल्टन क्रस्ट है, ठीक है। मॉल्टन क्रस्ट के ऊपर ओशियनिक प्लेट्स और कॉन्टिनेंटल प्लेट्स है, ठीक है। अब क्या हो रहा है बेटा, जब भी ये आपस में मूव करती हैं, तो यहाँ पे जब ये पास आती जाती हैं और ज्यादा क्लोज आकर जब ये रब करती हैं, तो यहाँ पे इनका सेंटर पॉइंट होता है, और इस वजह से डिफरेंट डिफरेंट तरह के अर्थक्वेक्स आना, ठीक है ना, वॉल्केनिक इरप्शंस होना, ये सब हमें फील होता है, ठीक है। तो किस तरह से ये मूव करती है, टेक्टोनिक प्लेट्स कन्वर्ज, मतलब ये एक दूसरे की तरफ आती हैं। पहली बात तो, पहली किस तरह से मूव करती हैं, जब ये एक दूसरे की तरफ आ रही हो, और टेक्टोनिक प्लेट्स डाइवर्ज, ठीक है। दूसरा, टेक्टोनिक प्लेट्स डाइवर्ज, ये क्या होता है इसके अंदर, ये एक दूसरे से दूर जाती हैं, दे विल गो अपार्ट, ठीक है। एंड इन दिस फर्स्ट, in converge, they will come towards, okay. So now we will move on this, okay. Yes, oceanic plates form the floor of the ocean, while continental plates form the continents, okay. It is believed that they are floating on the molten mantle or the plastic astrosphere, and are in a state of constant motion. This movement takes place mainly due to the heat generated within the interior of the earth, okay. The internal or endogenic forces originate within the earth crust and comprise sudden movement such as volcanic eruption, earthquake and landsliding, okay. As we can see, when the ocean plates and continental plates moves, है ना, they will generate endogenic forces. By this, volcanic eruptions, earthquakes and landsliding will occur. The surface of the earth is constantly undergoing changes due to external or exogenic forces which originate outside the earth crust. For instance, through erosion and deposition by agents such as wind, water, and so on. I inform you that what are exogenic forces? They will occur by heavy wind or heavy rainfall, and the deposition occurs by erosion, ठीक है, and deposonic agents, है ना, by this erosion occurs. अब formation of major landform देखते हैं हम, क्या है, plates tectonic creates slow movement of the earth that form continents, ocean beds, mountains, plateaus, plains, as well as sudden earth movements, landing to volcanic activities and earthquakes, okay. Now starting, let us now try to understand how these plates actually move and the consequent effect of this movement. Geologists are of the opinion that when the convection current in the astrosphere uh, ascends, the lithosphere plates diverge or pull apart horizontally. As in previous video, I show you the diversion and conversion. They both type of generating different type of movement, and the diversion basically form mountains and land, sea, glaciers and volcanoes. Okay, so diversion is basically on that type. uh, in the case of conversion, conversion is basically defined earthquakes and landsliding, all that. Okay, at such places on the ocean floor, new rock material rises to reach the surface of the earth. This sea floor spreading lands to the formation of new lithospheric material, continent and ocean basin. At such places, that such places on the ocean floor, new rock material rises to reach the surface of the earth. This seafloor spreading leads to the formation of new lithospheric material, continents and ocean basin. Wide rifts may sometimes be created, as in the San Andreas Fault in California, USA. Okay, this is basically the formation of rocks, how they form, है ना? Ocean floor किस तरह से बना है ना? This sea floor spreading leads to the formation of new lithospheric matter. Okay, now we move on next. The place where the convection current in the astrosphere is decays, the lithospheric plates above it conversion or move horizontal towards each. Okay, when two ocean plates converge, once is pushed. Okay, when the two ocean plates converge, one is pushed under the other. As you can see that, as you can see in this conversion, one is pushed to the other. One is pushed to the other. This is constant. This is moving. One is pushed to other. So there is the center of this. Now, yes, one is pushed under the other, leading to the formation of a deep sea French. Of a deep sea French. ठीक है? Now, leading to the formation of a deep sea French, the uh, marine French in the Pacific Ocean. When two continental plates collide, neither gets pushed. When two continental plates collide, like this, they were pushed, they were collide, है ना? Neither gets pushed down, or as both possess the same density, much like what happens when iceberg collide. The force of compression cause the lithospheres to get bulked into folds and mountains are formed. Okay, as you can see, when they comprise, they converge, है ना? So the deep sea will form. ठीक है? Formation of a deep sea trench. Okay, deep sea occurs when they comprise. But in the case of uh, drifting, in the case of drifting, they will go away from towards, then the mountains begins. Now we can see that how they begins. Let's So as you can see that, yes, ocean conversion. Ocean conversion means, as you can see here, the lithosphere is moving constant motion, uh, and continental crust. There is a continental crust, है ना, which is still constant, but एक crust दूसरे के नीचे जा रही है, constantly मूव कर रही है. ओके, मगर अब क्या होगा यहाँ पे हो ये रहा है भाई कि जब भी ये मूव करेगी तो एक प्रेशर जनरेट होगा. ठीक है, उस प्रेशर की वजह से ओशन क्रस्ट जो है वो फॉर्मेशन में आएगी और पानी जो है वो अपनी जगह बनाएगा. ठीक है, इस वजह से ओशन ओशनिक कन्वर्जन होता है. ओके, इस वजह से ही ओशनिक कन्वर्जन होता है. So basically, the land where when so basically when two sea fringe were formed, when two oceanic plates were uh, converged towards, then deep oceanic fringe were occur. Okay, we will study the next thing in next chapter or in next class. Thank you for giving your time.